You know, we said this in the last cash match as well. If you play this economic battle back and forth early on as the CT team, you're automatically at a disadvantage. So NiP has a big choice to make here, down 6 rounds in this second half.
So we'll take a look and see if NiP can do anything about this. I highly doubt they're going to go for the chase in terms of aggressive buys to try to keep themselves in this one. They might not see, but unfortunately even that is dangerous considering the current scoreline. NRG has such a big lead here too. If these situations reverse, they would have no problem going for the save, but it's an option that NiP need to consider here, forcing up again and trying to upset the economy of NRG to bring things back under control and allow them to close the gap a little bit as far as these scorelines are concerned.
Well, going to be interesting to see if NiP has any more left in the tank for the rest of this match. And I mean, they've just dropped too many. So NRG on these early rounds doing a very good job. 12-6, and there's no real investment from the NiP side. They do have one flashbang on Freiburg. Desperation play, perhaps, to see if they can just get a pop flash peaks that gives them an advantage in the round. And it looks like that's going to be towards the A bomb side with Michaelele and Exist getting up close. Or just Exists as Michaelele pushes closer to door. But Tabson's already out mid, and there's Gabi onto Forest. So early disadvantage for NiP, and Legia has gotten his team complete mid control, and the B bomb site is now open. So even on the rotate back, there's just nothing that NiP has to get back into this site. Almost
catching Legia there as he tries to transition into the vents, but now he's hungry. He wants to move out and try to see if he can actually grab that kill to the player on white box. So will need to be a bit cautious. I believe there's a second player from NiP also lurking out from Z, but all the pressure has faded away now as Legia was really just trying to draw attention here. NiP themselves are trying to push back into the site. It's actually a great pop flash, and they overrun Fugly, and that's the bomb gone down. GetRight gets himself a rifle. He'll pick up one more kill, but Peter and Gabi have traded out the frags that they've lost. Now Tapton finding another pickup, and it goes to 1v3. That's a nice one tap from Makalele to be able to take down Gabi, but now he's got the 1v2, and they know where he is, so Tapson is going to put an end to those shenanigans there and pick up another one for the NRG roster.
Yeah, they almost did it. Heaven forbid NiP with almost nothing bring it out into a 1-on-2. See Michaelele, I mean, it's the right call. He's got to get aggressive when the bomb is going down because that's basically a 1-on-1. But he just has nothing to really fight with. So here it comes. NiP. This is the last real chance they have to get started and build some momentum to make this comeback happen. NRG, if they win this on 14, and NiP would just be crippled in terms of economy. So it's a big round for the Ninjas to see if they can get back into this game. And here's Peter. This is basically going to be his home when he has an AWP on the T side.
Peter waiting to see. Didn't catch that player moving up close to the counter boost spot. However, there's no one in there to support that counter boost and actually make it happen, of course. GetRight leans up against it currently. Just waiting to see if anybody decides to flush back over that. And, of course, the doorway, too, checking for there. But Peter may have his first chance to grab a kill in a moment here as Exist is playing on the other side. Peter inching forward, too, but it's a bit hesitant from NRG at this point as they continue to play it slowly. Freiburg's going to net the first kill. Peter was in for a trade, and he almost loses his life. Thankfully, he's peeked just slowly enough, so he's able to get back behind cover before GetRight takes his head off.
Yeah, no, GetRight even pushing mid. He's going to win that battle against Legia right through the smoke. The Lurker catching Legia off guard as he's done so many times. And the early pressure from NRG gets pushed back, even with Peter still surviving despite taking some bullets from GetRight. It's going to be a late boost now. Gabi the next one up to try and take some kind of mid control, but NiP is starting to fall away from it. It's only GetRight here on the roof at an off angle, but Gabi spots it over the top, but still can't win it. That's a quick snap from GetRight. And Peter's got to pick up the bomb to join up with Fugly. All they have left is this B hit.
Peter now going to shift himself to be able to pick up the bomb here. Him and Fugly will work together to attempt a B take here, but Forrest waiting on the other side of this one with an SMG in hand in the mini pit. And also, of course, as you can see on the left side, Freiburg there waiting at checkers too. It's certainly going to be a tough task to accomplish. And even if they get through this one, there are 3 more players waiting across the map. They get that first kill. Trade comes in for Forrest, and Peter peeks. Doesn't even have his op out all the way. So that second kill is going to be very easy for Forrest to find. Ninjas strike back a little bit here. Still 6 rounds behind, but they do grab their own 7th round.
Good setup from Forrest and Freiburg at that B bomb site. Both of them, I mean, a crossfire in 2 different ways where each of them can play contact depending on how NRG attack the bomb site. So really well done, and it's going to be back onto pistols for NRG. They only have 2 smokes, 1 flashbang, some P250s. But for the most part, it's going to be all NiP in this round. Michaelele with the AWP playing very passively at the truck. Exist and GetRight will be quick on the rotation over up highway. They see no mid-pressure coming in, so both of them now refocusing towards A, especially now that those smokes have been deployed.
Exist lurking back in here too to wait and see if anybody from NRG snuck out onto the site early. It's not the case. They've held back. They're waiting for a bit of this to go away. He did spot the door opening, and he goes for the spray to see if he can catch any of them in the smoke, but they're held. They're very reserved, and Gabi just running across with a Glock here. Catches a duel versus Makalele, but he holds the line. Picks up that kill against Gabi. That distraction, at the very least, allows them to get onto the site and find the plant, but now they're cleaning things up quite nicely. The last 2 are stuck back over here in quad. Exist catching the 4th, and Forrest finds the 5th. So there you go. The 8th round will go up onto the board rather quickly for NiP.
I mean, fortunate Gabi only had a Glock to work with. If he has a PT-50 or Tech 9, that could have been 2 quick kills for him. I mean, just this is some of the miscommunications that NiP have done in this match that have kind of put him in this hole. We've seen a couple times that around Get Right's not expecting someone to be over boost. He thinks someone's watching for him. This time, no one's watching for that play. I mean, Michael with the AWP looking into the site, and they're not ready for someone to come from forklift. Exists is caught reloading. So a scary situation for NiP, despite only going against pistols. Now it's the AKs on board.
And the guys here on NiP are just still going to go for their usual split. Keeping Makalele back over here on the A-bomb side with the op, but of course Get Right in the Z position watching for that mid-pressure. This time, though, it's going to be very direct from NRG.
Oh, this is going to be they're going to firebomb the site. This is going to be a massive amount of fire. Forrest is going to have a very tough time. He's already used his smoke, so there's not going to be a whole lot of places he can go if these Molotovs are placed properly. Freiberg hasn't noticed one slip by him. He's down. It's all on Forrest, hiding behind the smoke, but 2 kills already. Forrest has got to do so much, and he can't. It's a wash. NRG, this execute is way too easy for him. Michael and Exist just have to save. You could see Michael wanted to move forward, and Exist is just calling him back. So a near flawless round as only Tabson's taken any damage with 2 kills.
Like even pushing forward there too to catch one of the players in CT main. So they got very aggressive with them and got given so much free room with the setup there. And NiP were just not expecting that whatsoever. That's a walkover round for NRG, and that's just considerably dangerous. When you take a look at the scoreline right now, it's going to be a 14th round that they essentially just walk into there. 3 kills for them, dropping the Ninjas back down. Their money isn't really in a great spot here.
And I mean, simply put, they just can't afford. They can't afford to have this. They have to go on a big round a winning streak, and I mean, they did have to. Now it's necessary. You know, then that would have they just had like another mistake to give before there was really backs against the wall. Now they absolutely have to. So they have to put something together. They have the money for another solid buy, forcing him able to get an AWP if he wants to switch into a double op setup. Plenty of money for drops over to Get Right. So NiP's going to have a full arsenal, but they just don't have any more rounds to play with.
This is going to be the end of it here, too. If NRG picks up another victory like that one, they even were able to build themselves up quite nicely because of how clean that one was. Just walking onto the site, no problems whatsoever. Players didn't even really take any damage at the end of the day. So,
I mean, look at this output from NRG, though. These are not the players you'd expect to be. I mean, Tapson, yes, 21 and 15, but Gabi and Legia up there, that's where you'd expect Peter to be with the AWP. They become the focal point a lot, but definitely, I mean, it's not to speak poorly about Peter and Fugly. It's more impressive from Gabi and Legia, who you don't normally expect this kind of power from. And Gabi,
again, sneaking out.
How has this not been spotted?
He did this on the pistol round, too. As he slowly crept himself all the way through already up to the site. There's nobody playing quads. There's literally zero danger from there. Everybody from NiP is just going to give them the room that's necessary. They're playing for retake here. Gabi's got it clear, and he can just call for his teammates to walk in and plant the bomb now. They're already going to be able to start the timer.
That's far too easy for NRG. And even Gabi, I mean, that angle that he gets for free. Get Right does find a kill on Fugly, so there's a good start, but they've got Peter watching the flank. They've got a retake to do. It is a 5-on-4, but the smokes are out. They have to wait a little bit because Forrest is still on the way from the B site. Tabson looking for something. Trying to hold the angle. He's going to swing wide. They almost line up for him, but Freiberg gets it.
Now Peter waiting back over here in A-man to catch the flank, but in the meantime, they've also lost Legia back over there in the site itself. Peter peeking out again. That's where Makalele is going to punish, and all of a sudden it's a 1-on-5. And the Ninjas, who gave up the site for free, somehow managed to flawlessly retake. They don't lose a single player. So they keep themselves in this game, and these are the rounds they need to still have a chance to come back here and take this match.
It's crazy to say this, but if Gabi, I mean, that's insane aggression from him to just walk out and just stroll, like, walking the whole way without being spotted. But if he's a little bit more aggressive, he might actually be able to open that up with a kill or two again. Just stopping at that one corner where he couldn't see the defender of that site. But NiP giving a lot of respect over to NRG at the moment.
So now, for the NRG roster, of course, there's still a little buy up once again, but this may leave them at the tail end of their economy for now, as they would have to save for a couple of rounds here and would allow NiP to close the gap a bit more here. However, back over on that CT side, they're a lot more aggressive with their mid-pressure now, with one player boosted up, I believe, into the vents here, and 2 more watching out for the actual pressure inside of it. One a little bit closer up on the highway and one hiding out in the cubby, but this does allow room inside of checkers for Tabson to push up along with his teammate. They clear things out here, not trying to actually get the bomb inside. Forrest actually gets a great angle, shuts down Fugly, and all of a sudden that aggression bites back.
I'm liking this double op setup from NiP. This allows them to get some aggressive peeks in with relative lack of danger to him, where they can just find that one kill. And you can see Forrest is aggressive to go chase that down, and then he falls away. And look at this. Get Right's found a gap in the default, and he's going to find a kill. Successful for him. Last time he did that, it was a kill on Legia. This time it's on to Tabson. So NiP taking liberties across the map. NRG have a tough time handling it this round.
Like, some nice shots there through the doorway, brings Exist down rather low. I mean, they're on makeup duty here now, too. They've got to be able to not only get control of the site, but pick up quite a few more kills, and they've missed it again. Get Right has snuck all the way up on top. Peter, a great angle against the player Chuck, but he misses it, and he doesn't catch that the guy snuck back out. Thankfully, Leggy is able to counter out the push from Get Right, but now Peter is still hunting for this kill, and that leaves Highway wide open. Freiburger's going to grab the frag on a Gob B, and again, Forrest taking down Peter here. It's all left to Leggy in the 1v3. However, these players are lit. There's the first pickup, looking for the second one on Highway, but it's not going to be possible. Freiburg shuts it down, and NiP now get themselves into double digits.
You could almost see it forming from Legia in a 1-on-3. Two players extremely low, and he gets the 1-on-1s. I actually hope that Freiburg is going to pick up an AWP for the double op setup, but he doesn't go for it, so maybe NiP wanting to switch out of it. Yep, Forrest is going for the M4, so not the double op. Maybe they just think NRG's seen it, so now they can start kind of countering it, so they want to switch again, a different style that they can show the offensive energy. But a good recovery, almost extremely dangerous.
Previously, though, NRG do have to go for a save on this round. Just going to be picking up pistols along with utility. Tapson and Gabi aren't able to afford armor, but that's it. Tapson being sent with a bomb over here towards Squeaky, but the other 4 players are currently pushing towards B, so interested to see what they're going to do off of this one. Freiburg obviously aggressively pushed up. Waits for more of that aggression, but this could prove interesting.
The famous 4-1. Hit onto the B bomb site, Tapson with the bomb, just sneak into the A site, and this might work because Mike Lilly's playing a retake with the AWP. Doesn't want to be too aggressive, so yeah, he's being pulled away already before any kills even ring out. There's Get Right, and Mike Lilly's so far away. Now he's coming back to consider it. Real action is going to be over towards A. The bomb's getting planted, so at least they'll get the bonus money. No chance of them winning. They only have pistols. They haven't really salvaged any guns, but the plant is really what they wanted. It's going to help out a lot with just a 2-round losing bonus.
And Get Right's going to catch Tapson with the nade out. Peter obviously completely disconnected from all of the action happening on that site. He will get the kill on the Forest, but the bomb is well on its way to defusal. There's nothing Peter can do to stop that. So, the Ninjas will pick up another one here, 14-11. And off of that light round from NRG, they should be able to get into another buy, especially with the plant money.
It looks like we're going to see another pause. NRG, another tactical, as this is starting to slip away. It has been 3 in a row for NiP. That last round of success just with the plant, but even the 2 before that. I mean, the last 4 of the last rounds that NiP have won have been plants from the NRG side. So success getting into the sites. There has been some retakes over towards A, but I mean, they're getting to the post-plant situations again, much like the first half. This time, though, it's NiP who's starting to close them out.
Yeah, but NiP looking very good themselves here. Really start to round it back, of course, and shut down NRG in the early rounds here. We haven't seen those heroics from God B as we were just a couple of rounds back. It was becoming a consistent thing there, and for Legia too, has been one of the bigger players here on this T side.
I mean, it is to be said, you know, when the score is when NRG has a lot more of leeway with the score, those plays that Gabi's making by walking into the A site, you have those rounds to kind of toy with. You can experiment with those kind of plays. When it gets a little bit closer in the scoreline, I mean, you want to fall on something a little bit more reliable. It's not very often that someone is going to be able to just walk out A main and into the site without being caught. So Gabi obviously not going for those. As you can see with the timeout, that NRG's starting to feel the pressure of this comeback.
In here too now. Need to see some big stuff from him, but NRG, look, again, another very direct play too. Everybody already heading into A main and/or Squeaky. The 2 players lined up behind a little bit here with the bomb. I think that's Tabs and Tier grouping up here. But the guys from NiP are actually going to go for the bit of a boost here. Up on a Shroud spot, seeing if they can stop it. Get Ray will take the position. Exist. It's the one that helps him out with that one, but he'll have plenty of time to back away and get into another spot. As the rest of NRG still wait to line this up and eventually proceed into the site after a little bit of time ticks down.
And NRG didn't set up in a default at all, so they have no map control elsewhere. There is 1 player boosted up into the vent, so that's going to be a quick rotate as soon as that comes in. As soon as this hit here, and there's 3 players from NiP. Get Right.
It's coming.
Yeah, he's boosted up this time. It's all him.
They're going to see it rolling in. Exist already finding that first kill there. Get Right just remaining patient here, waiting for more of them to push their way out. There's the bomb going down to the ground. Gabi is the player that's eliminated while carrying it. Quick rotation's already on the way. Fugly does catch them off guard a little bit. I'm not sure if Get Right was aware he even pushed into the site, but Exist finds another one. And in the 2 versus 3 now, it falls a lot too Fugly to keep this together. He's picked up another kill, but now he's down at 34 HP, and they still have to retrieve that bomb, which will fall mainly to Peter as he holds the forklift position, even trading out. Fugly trying to give him a little bit of room to work with here, but at the end of the day, Peter is going to have to peek for it, and thankfully, no one from NiP is out in the open to defend it.
It's a bit of a nightmare, though. I mean, there's no utility to cross. So, yeah, Peter wisely goes back to that AWP. He's going to have to fight at range. I'm not even sure if it's going to be safe for him to throw it across. So he just runs the gauntlet. And they miss, but there it is. Mike Lilly finally gets it. Fugly, do you try and win the round? Do you get the bomb planted? He wants to go for the heroics. It's not going to happen. 12 rounds now for NiP. It almost works as Fugly's route into that bomb site. Get Right knows he gets past him, but he just couldn't find him. And he knows that he's kind of getting pinched from 2 different angles with pressure from A main, with pressure from the bomb site. And he just guessed wrong at the wrong moment. So they still win it. Now it's NRG without that plant. They can't even think about trying to force buy.
NRG here now, unfortunately, losing that lead very quickly. They'll come within one gun round's grasp of it. And for NiP here, too, nothing to change. They've still been remaining very, very strong here as of these past, like, 4 or 5 rounds that they've been able to win. NRG roster this time, it's not looking like they're going to adapt much. For the most part, still proceeding over towards this A-bomb set eventually. Keeping Fugly back to make sure nobody pushes them in the B halls, but just a few moments here, he's just going to regroup with the main pushing force and try to work their way into the A-bomb site. They did allow these players to move out pretty freely into mid. Tabson's gotten himself into this little cubby here. He's going to try to take a challenge against Get Right in a second. Lined it up, but misses the shot, and now he's been given away.
Well, there's Freiburg with the opening 2 kills, pouncing out of vents at exactly the right moment. And Michael Ailey's just going to follow away with the AWP. He's going to get back towards range. He's got Exist to support him. Not needed for the moment as 2 kills again for Michael Ailey. Fugly now with just the deagle, hasn't been able to find... Ooh, there's a nice shot onto Exist, but anything else he can get, it would be great if he could find Michael Ailey at low HP. It's not going to happen. So 1 round closer as NiP inch things to a tied scoreline.
And it'll all come down to this, too. The big investment from NRG as they buy up into what could be one of their last real big gun rounds here.
I don't think there's a timeout left for NRG in this half. I think that was their second one they just used. So this is going to be, you know, they're going to have to, God B's going to have to reach in and adjust on the fly if he sees something that he needs to counter. So NRG about to be tested after having a very, very surprisingly good match.
We haven't really seen anything fantastic, too, as far as the strats are concerned, which you'd expect a little bit more of with God B taking the helm for this squad. At the moment, everybody just playing to that usual T-side default that so many teams utilize. Again, it is going to be the case on this round, too, leaving Fugly to watch the B site and Leggy, of course, make sure nobody pushes in from squeaky halls.
It is interesting watching NRG have this close of a game with NiP, because just before this, I mean, Henry and I have been talking to Get Right, and Get Right mentioned that God B is one of the people that he respects the most in terms of his knowledge and how he approaches the game of Counter-Strike. So, I mean, a lot of knowledge from some of the old school players on how effective of a leader God B actually is. Get Right speaking his praises before this goes live. Big test here as he's going to be the one pressured in mid. Flashbang goes up high into the air, but no one has come out yet for... Oh, no, this is not good timing for Get Right. It's working out in his favor somehow. Gabi goes for the peek, but can't find it. As Get Right realizes one more in the smoke. He hasn't seen it, but... Oh, I mean, just like a ninja. He just disappears, but Tabson's going to have a sick flank. This could be huge.
Tabson pushing himself forward. He fires off a shot, but nobody realizes it. Gets that first kill. Quick response from Exist. It's going to be able to take him back down, and now his attention is drawn over here onto Squeaky. The rest of the guys from NRG are trying to push out, but Makalele, once again, armed with the op, able to pick up kills, and that is going to be Legia walking into the open, where it's an easy punishment for Exist. It's all on Peter now in a 1v4. He's got 30 seconds to play with, but just like a few rounds ago, no utility for that cross to regain the bomb either. So Exist is going to shut it down. A big round from him, and now the Ninjas have successfully brought this comeback over to a tie scoreline now as it goes to 14-14.
That is a big boy shot from Exist, spinning around on top of the rafters to get that trade immediately. I mean, you see it gets 3 kills in the round. One of them is Tabson in mid. But with, you know, he gets 2 more after that. If Tabson's able to get that kill, the A-bomb site opens up. And also, I mean, Exist just doesn't get those kills, so they have way more players actually securing the A-bomb site. So big job, big impact from Exist.
Looks like NRG did have one more pause. I think they used like one of theirs towards like the very end of the first half. So I think they managed to save both of theirs here.
Thanks for bailing me out.
Yep.
I mean, this is going to be interesting now. We saw like there was that stretch where it was 4 rounds in a row, 4 plants for NRG, 4 defuses for NiP. Well, now these past 3 rounds, they haven't even gotten the bomb planted. So it's been, I mean, lockdown defense for NiP. And this is where you kind of see maybe a little bit of the, I mean, definitely the experience of NiP coming into play, the inexperience of NRG in some of these high-pressure matches where, you know, they've grabbed control of this. Now NiP is riding the momentum, and NRG is actually fighting not only against NiP, but they're fighting against the momentum of losing 6 rounds in a row.
Let's get back into it now and see, with NRG's investment obviously not being the greatest, armored upgraded pistols with utility, no big guns to play with at all, CZs, Tech 9s, P250s, that's the best they can afford. And for NiP, of course, they've had no problem buying for the last 6 or 7 rounds. Definitely brought a huge round streak here to be able to bring this comeback. In fact, at this point, it's sitting at 6 rounds. And also, interesting note too, the fall from NRG has been tremendous because as of the past 3 rounds, they haven't found any plants at all where they've almost been getting them unanimously on the rounds that they've lost.
Well, here come the smokes. The execution lined up towards this A bomb site. Godby and Peter going to join up with Tabson and Legia. There's Fugly on the other side of the map. Again, Get Right being aggressive in mid.
Oh.
The retake is going to be bailed out, or helped out by this shot through the smoke from Michaelele. No bomb plant this round, so investment from NRG goes absolutely nowhere for the moment as Legia inside the smoke is trying to do something. And everyone from NiP just lined up outside of it, and they have taken control. This is their first lead. This has got to be the first lead. They did lose the pistol round in both halves.
We're attempting to come back for a very long time in the first half there, but they never managed to make it there. They got pretty close, I think, within like 3 or 4 rounds, but then NRG started picking them up again, and they ended the half pretty much fully in their favor. Now they managed to take it, of course, and it would be a huge crusher for them to lose it here and then have to go through overtime again, but we'll wait and see, because at the moment, they're looking strong, and it seems like NRG has sort of lost their stride. This time, though, finally changing up the game a little bit. It's been very direct for the most part towards A, but now they're leaning onto a B hit very early on in this round.
Whoa.
That's not going to help, though. Forest pushing out and just destroys Peter.
Get out. That is disgusting with the AK. Get Right now boosted up. Oh, this is NiP. So aggressive, so proactive, and we thought it might have been a possibility. 2 more for Get Right. The star players forced to Get Right, shutting things down in this last round, and NRG is having their heart ripped out on screen.
It's all over now. Fugly is the last man standing, manages to take down Forest. He'll hunt for a second player pushing in, but that's going to be the end of it. Freiburg takes him down, and NiP round a huge comeback and take control of this map. 16-14 is going to be the final score at the end of this one, and the Ninjas continue to push forward here in the group stage.
Oh no, NRG. That was what, an 8 or 9 round run at the end there for NiP? That is disgusting performance from them to come back in that. And those are the worst kind of losses. NRG, they had such a big lead at 14 for so long and just couldn't get anything done. I mean, that last round, you could just see it. Get Right is he's just ready. He's just ready to close it out. Yep. He hated how close that match was. He hated being down that much, and he just wrecks everyone at that boost.
Nonetheless, though, a good game from the NRG roster. Tabson, some good stuff from him. Sort of came in a little bit later on in the game. We did see Peter showing up early on with some good shots, which, of course, is something we look to whenever this team does get to LAN.
Yeah, you could see the switch as well. I mean, Godby getting into the site, that was a lot of respect being given up, but at the end, it was NiP who actually got aggressive on the CT side to take control of that match. And with that being said, we will toss it over to the analyst desk to hear their thoughts. Take it away, Alex.
Cheers, gents. Indeed. Wow, what a story that has been. And unfortunately, you will be seeing the NRG boys and their rather dismayed look as they got so close yet so far. An expression we actually found ourselves using to describe NiP's game versus Dignitas just yesterday. And now the tables have turned. A solid lead from NRG taken away from them by a very vigilant CT side of NiP. Yanko, 16-14, NRG, multiple opportunities to close things out.
Definitely so, and they had everything in place. They won both pistols, had good rounds throughout the game, but it seems like one of those occasions when towards the end they just start playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
Right. Do we want to address the elephant in the room?
What's that?
There's quite a lot of anger from behind us right now. They're very upset with that. Tabson was not impressed at all. I think he threw his headset when they lost that last round there. Yeah, they're very, very upset with that loss, and that's understandable in a situation like that. With that lead, they wanted to get a win on the board, and I mean, frustration at all time.
You better than anyone on this desk can kind of elaborate. You've been in that player seat more recently than Yanko.
Calling me a rager?
No, just but you know how it feels to be close and then have it taken away from you. This is where you have those team talks where you just sit there in silence and kind of stew in your misery for a bit, right?
It's hard to analyze a game like that when you're the team looking back on it because it's heartbreaking, right? And then it's really hard, especially to watch it fresh. So when you go back and watch it at a later date, then it's a bit easier to digest. But a lot of things aren't fresh then in your mind in the terms of what happened in these situations. Did someone miss comm? Did you just miss a shot? Like it's harder to go through those things if you wait too long to watch a demo. For me, there was just so many retakes because we saw so many plants, right? And it looked like both teams were happy to play that retake style, and they were happy to give up, maybe one member, let the bomb go down, then retake as a team. And it's the opposite from what we saw from Mouse on Cage earlier, who wanted to make it aggressive and give themselves an advantage early on the CT side. These teams were happy to let it go into 5v5s, fight at the site, retake later.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to quickly, not before we kind of continue in this rather underperformance from NRG on their second half, I do want to make sure that we do cover the strength of their first, right? Because NiP looked lost on their T side. It was a spectacular defense from NRG, or, I mean, basically what I'm fishing for here is, did NiP's T side not look as shiny as it normally does?
I don't think they were looking lost. I think more than anything else, NiP underestimated NRG a little bit in that game, because after they lost Pistol, next 4 rounds were all diffuses for NRG. And in some of those rounds, NiP actually had the advantage, bomb down, man advantage as well. But as I said, I think they were a bit too cocky playing those rounds. If they just play it the regular, you know, disciplined style, they would probably win one of those rounds and break NRG's economy earlier on. By doing this, they gave them, first they gave them a lot of rounds, then also they gave them confidence to play more aggressively and, you know, to have more confidence to take risks around the map.
I think, yeah, there were maybe 5 or 6 rounds in the hole, like you're saying, based off of like force buying or doing buys that they might not have normally done and rounds that they should have won. Once they were able to, you know, get into their normal routine, have full guns and stuff, you saw them doing the regular thing, you know, doing the aggressive B main smokers tease to, you know, shroud that area of the map so the CTs don't know what's going on. And then later they were able to execute from behind that and all pounce into the site. And you really used their default to their advantage, but it took them a while to get that going. It
was interesting, though, seeing as how Peter played a lot from that box, behind the box in checkers. I don't think that's a position you go to that many times. Maybe that was something they had in place specifically against NiP, who uses a lot of utility to get checkers control, but perhaps not always mollies that back box. And there were a couple of situations where NiP was going for checkers control, and okay, Peter didn't get the kills, but he was buying a lot of time for the rest of the team to rotate in.
A full 30 rounds, NRG unable to close things out. It is going to be a bitter pill to swallow, there's no doubt about it, for the North American side. However, there is still light at the end of the tunnel, unless, depending on how the results continue to go in their group, they could make an impact. I mean, admittedly, it's looking like that's it. That's curtains for NRG. Just remembering the other names and the current positions of both Dignitas, Cloud9, and then just underneath them you have NiP picking up their second win. There's a lot of wins on the board. It does look like NRG will not be present, of course, for the playoffs. However, they do get an opportunity to perform in that arena. Everyone does. And that's, of course, coming tomorrow. We'll be migrating from where we are now, which is the ESL Brazil studios over there. Still, though, gents, NiP fighting for survival and doing so. Our next match should be intriguing. It's going to be FaZe versus Dignitas. And if you want a preview of how that's going to go down or to understand exactly how these teams have done in the past, if you want to have a quick recap of that Dignitas comeback on Nuke, you can do so on the Score Esports application. You can get it on your smartphone, iOS, and Google Play when I struggle to swallow and actually get air in my lungs. Fortunately, let's just leave it at that.
Thanks, Alex. We could have knocked that one out of the park for you, mate.
I appreciate that, gents. All right. But you know what the application's called, right? Yeah. I've told you enough. The Score Esports?
The Score Esports?
Ah, application. They know. Right.
I've got it on my iPhone.
Have you? Yeah, I've got it on my Android. There you go. It's available on both. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, it's going to be time to see just how well FaZe can do versus Dignitas. They're on a roll at the moment, but Carrigan this time has an opportunity to drive FaZe in a new direction. See how it goes down after the break.